If you talk to any vet, any defense person, he will tell you what his goals are, point blank. We need to take that and imbibe into corporate culture.
Welcome to another episode of Tea with Tea. Today I'm joined with Ramesh. Ramesh, welcome. Where do I find you? Where are you at the moment?
I'm in Dallas. So first of all, T, thanks. I know we've always been talking, but it's funny and interesting as we're talking something off topic, offbeat. So it's actually, I'm excited. So I'm in Dallas, but you can see me on LinkedIn, quite active. And I do a blog on here and there on Forbes as well. So you can find me mostly on the social media, unless you want me to take a cup of coffee at Dallas.
Yes, and actually, you're underselling yourself, Ramesh. We have known each other for many years already. Met in Orlando, had really lots of exchange in different kind of councils. Whether it was, I think, automation in the beginning, went over to process mining, and yeah, it's a great to seeing you again. But today, I really want to talk about a specific topic. Let's see how long we can keep on it because we are always very off-topic conversation. But today, I want to focus a little bit about your venture relating to XR sports. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure, T. So you and I have been blogging, but you are more an active blogger than me. The T with the T is it hits all the cards. So kudos to you. And I love the way how you take your value, like having a tee at the tennis court or at swimming or at the golf. All you're talking is about value and improving the business process. But what you're talking also is you are connecting more and more with your tribe. And when I mean tribe, it's bunch of followers who understand and reciprocate with you. This is exactly what a creator economy is. We live, like you said a couple of minutes ago, we live in the most advanced and the most, uh, I think, the most evolutionary period of our era where things which we couldn't achieve are now there. Creator economy is simply is how well you can create good content, authenticity, and connect to your tribe. This is what one of my gigs, in addition to my day job, is focused on creator economy. XR Sports is all about creator economy. And the problem that what we are having is now I'll use a term called walled gardens, which we don't use it. So you are using platforms of somebody else, which means they have the controls, the rights, everything to set on you, while you are just a participant in that. What we believe is breaking the shackles of walled gardens, where you and your community have the right to say, this is right, this is wrong. How do we monetize? How we do monetize? So it's all about breaking the shackles of walled garden, and it's all part of creator economy. That's what XR Sports is.
And how did you get actually started with that? I mean, was there some event or some moment?
Um, Honestly, no. So I've been blogging for almost 8 years. And I've been part of some venture capitals by random accident. I One of the venture capital actually recommended, by the way, this is a vet led and vet founded, was recommended. So he started stalking me for 2 years. And then one day he sends a message to me saying, hey, I've been referred by XYZ. I would like to talk. Now, I don't know anything about vets. I don't know anything about army, nothing about creator economy. And I'm like, even if you see the website, it has GG. I actually thought it's a porn site. So I didn't even want to open, and I'm like, I'm not interested in all of this. And he said, no, no, we are a genuine company, authentic company. I said, where do you live? And it stands that it's just 10 minutes away from my home. So I said, okay, I want to meet you because I was really curious. Is this really fake or genuine? Why would a vet even talk to me? Because he messaged me saying I'm a vet, and he actually drives submarines in the Middle East. He used to. So I have no connection. Why would I? So I meet him, telling my wife, funny is, I'll just come back in 10 minutes. Here I go and here I come back. I spoke to him for 3.5 hours. And then this was on December 20th, 24th, 2020. I meet him for 3.5 hours. I come back. Again, I meet him the next day. Again, I meet him. So between 24th to 31st, I actually met him 6 times. And before I realized, I became a part of that company too.
That's very interesting. Can you let us know a little bit more about what does it actually mean to be a veteran-led company? Because I believe that it is not just about there's a leader, and by the way, he's also a veteran, but I think it really means something different if you are actually consciously led with this spirit, right?
So, like I said, this was my first gig working with a veteran, and then I worked with a few more veterans as well. First of all, kudos to the vets. Again, we just recently had the Memorial Day. They put nothing but the country first. You know, that itself is the biggest, what do you call a principle, what the vets have. Not just the vets, Army, Defense, Navy, Marine. You know, if you take that back to any company, we have a vision, mission, and a goal. I don't even know how many of us read a goal is. The vision, mission, goal mostly try to the EA group or the CIO group, and they never cascade. Here, everybody says one thing and one only thing: country first. If you equate that to a company first, if you put that as a part of a goal, each company will be phenomenal. So I think nothing more than that says volumes country first. That is something I strongly believe which we should all imbibe who are not vets.
Mm. I think that's very interesting because if you think about, let's say, the CXO suite, the terminology actually comes also from military. The whole concept of strategy actually also comes from the military. But let's actually pivot a little bit. Let's go to the edge here. What do you believe in the military, which has not been really adopted in the corporate world yet, but maybe should be? What could we actually learn more from the military?
If I said discipline, I'll get a punch on my face. But on the contrary, you know what? Now we have a concept of fail fast. Now we've changed it to learn fast. The vets or the military itself, one thing they do is they're very studious in what they do. What we call is the definition of reconnaissance. They serve, it's matter of life and death. You cannot do like a fail fast, like a DevOps way, which is nothing wrong because that is what we are in. You can't turn it on and say, it failed and then hence we have it. They do a true reconnaissance because even 1% dead, it means a lot to them. They're all in or all out. That is something that we as corporates needs to get it. Even startups, even in startup, if you see, I recently had a chance to work in an interim role with a startup. It's not aligned, and that's what we need to do. And I think that is one thing I've learned with the vets is the discipline. The second thing is the reconnaissance, which means they survey the hell out of it and make sure everybody in the team is aligned. Trust, transparency, these go hand in hand, which all of us need to have. I'm not XYZ. Each one of us should have in the company. And that, I think in the company, we started using the concept of OKRs, which is precisely to bring the trust and the transparency. But I was surprised. One of my friend works in a very large company which has acquired a OKR company. He was helping me. He was asking me to write goals. So as I started writing goals for him, I said, wait a minute, your company is big on OKR. Well, I don't know what the OKR, which my management is. So this is what has to happen. We, if you talk to any vet, any defense person, he will tell you what his goals are, point blank. We need to
Mm,
take that and imbibe into corporate culture.
mm. I think you have really hit a great point because I think often a little bit out of context. We have OKRs. Back in the days, we had SMART goals, right?
Smart goals.
And all of these things. And I think actually everything makes sense, balanced scorecards, SMART goals, now OKRs. But
We
actually,
still
it's the
use them.
execution, right? It's the execution which is actually lacking. So I think the process is good, the intent is good, the purpose is there, but we just don't execute on them. So why do you believe that maybe in this environment you're working with, why is the execution so much more aligned, transparent, and focused?
So, including me, many people have been screaming about strategy to execution. So actually, if you rewind to COVID, Who accelerated digital transformation? You know the answer. You know
mm,
the answer. So what was happening is, in the realm of digital transformation, we did only digitization. You and I keep speaking about it, and then suddenly came with COVID came. Kudos to the technology again. This is where we guys come in. We just broke the shackles, and I'll be using the word shackles again and again. We said this, everything is possible. Everything is possible. So we really started doing digital transformation to the hell out of it. So, this is exactly what should happen. Why? A, the goals were very clear. B, strategy to execution, trust and transparency started building because employees got more trust in the company. There was the remote culture or the hybrid culture, and the companies gave them the freedom to work, which again, it's again changing in a different direction. But when you bring all these principles of the defense, which is a strategy, see, very simple strategy is about taking a company from point A to point B.
mm,
It's all about that. And how do you take it is through your mission and your KPI, objectives and KPIs. If these are clearly communicated from the top down, then the whole team starts working like a Mission Impossible or a combat force. I would love to see. I've seen some of my teams we have transformed, but I would love to see companies go into combat mode.
mm.
And we do see startups. I'm not saying enterprises. This is saying elephants can dance. I think it was IBM that made the statement. But I'd love to see more and more enterprises taking this combat mode and saying we're all one team, one army.
Mm. Maybe if we pivot how to get there, right? Because that's often one of our key themes. We know where we want to go, we know where we are, hopefully, but how to get there. So I guess technology is one way to support that journey. Which particular technologies are you currently, let's say, having high hopes for, or how do you see how different technologies can get us to this, like impossible missions kind of combat force?
So I'm an enterprise architect. I'll use a little bit of enterprise architecture terminology three, which is um, again, we'll take the defense or the military. Let's They do the first thing. What they do is known as reconnaissance, which I've already said. It could be an aerial survey, or a land survey, or water survey. In enterprise, we call it a baseline architecture. If you don't know what you're doing, then there's no point. So when I mean a baseline architecture, you're talking of your existing business capabilities, your process, your systems, and your data, which is basically, and then metrics, which I believe should be there. So you do this baseline architecture, and then what you want to do. Okay, in the case of an army, they need to ambush the enemy. Or in the case of strategy for us, which is their strategy too, for us, it is how to grow the revenue. Okay, so that's their North Star. It could be 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, the future state. So between the current state to future state, we do a gap analysis.
Mm,
What we are strong, what we are weak, and then put a roadmap, a multi-year roadmap. Or, by the way, I think I've been telling people that we should forget multi-year roadmap. I think thanks to generative AI, it's like Satya Nadella said, we've ushered from a cycle era to an industrialization era, which
mm,
means our roadmaps are by the day we live in, which means 6 months, 3 months, I don't know, but are changing. So long story short, you look at your current state and your North Pole, and then you put your North Star and you put your interim architecture in the direction. I think the way industry and the experience are going, thanks to generative AI, your North Star keeps changing so
mm.
fast. So your interim architectures have to align with your North Star and keep the wheels on the engine have to crank faster. Probably you need a Tesla Falcon X to keep changing. But easier said than done. I know, it's easier said than done.